Boom! Hello everybody, welcome to another live stream. I hope we've all had a good week. I'm a little bit burned out at the moment. It's a bit hectic having all these shows around the same time, isn't it?
The video right there.
That's this weekend's job, trying to get my video ready for YouTube. So, yeah. Hello everybody, welcome to another live stream. If you're joining us for the first time, good to have you with us. First thing we're going to do, first thing on the agenda, as it is every week, let's give a shout out to everybody's in the chat. So we got the regulars. Yeah, so Paul, if you look at the top, we've got Paul Howells, who then changes his name to Pandy. For everybody who doesn't know, that's Paul from Pandyman, the game company, who do Threat Level 0 and Trench Offensive. Obviously you've worked out how to change your display name. That's a cool trick, mate. I know Darren did it with he's got his demon sub tag in. Shakros and Sprues, good to see you, sir. Also known as James Cuts on everything else. One of the OTT crowd. Good to see you at Partizan. Hello Orinoco. Darren, the mentioned earlier, he's in the chat tonight. Good to see you, sir. And Spam and Egg, who for everybody who doesn't know is David's other half. So I was expecting to have a rogue Tim. Hello Damon, good to have you back again, sir. Didn't catch up with you at Partizan. Hello Crispin, because of Ben. Good to see you. So that's the chat out of the way. For those of you who've not been here before,
No, I'm here. It's just that I'm quiet because I'm slowly tearing up plump foliage and losing the will to live.
You're doing his trees. Yeah, Tim, see, Darren is my witness. Yeah. Tim threatened on his live stream on Tuesday on Twitch that he would be here tonight because he hasn't got a Battletech. That's the word. I know it's about something. Battletech game. But I'm guessing maybe he got lucky and somebody offered him a game of Battletech. In which case, good on him. It's, sooner be wargaming than this. Hello, Cheeseme. Good to see you, sir. Anyone ever played called EverQuest? Was that an MMORPG thing on the computer? Crispin. He asks, not really certain of the answer. It sounds familiar from back in day, or is it something else? It is. Yeah, I know what you mean, sir, but no, those sort of like multi-user dungeon things like Warcraft are not really my bag. Yeah, I thought it was an old one. Yeah, no, sorry, buddy. Why were you looking to see whether somebody would say it's worth you bothering with, or what? I imagine the service must be long dead, surely to God. Surely that's not a thing that's still live. Anyway, let's get down to tonight's show. So, as usual, our format will be over the next couple of hours. We will show you what we're going to be hobbying on. Because obviously this is a hobby live stream, just in case you weren't aware. So no sitting idle. The devil makes work for these idle hands. So let's get them busy. So if you've got any terrain to build, miniatures to paint, fucking anything gaming related, crack on with it now. Because we're not worth your full attention. 50% is probably the ceiling. So you want something else to occupy your attention. So David and I are going to be showing you what we're working on tonight. Yeah, technical difficulties. Well, I'll come to that, Cheeseme. So yeah, we'll do that first. Then we'll tell you a little bit about what we did at the gaming club on Monday. Was that your phone? I just heard buzz, mate.
Yes, it was. Bear with me.
Then we will just have a bit of a chat around the houses. And then we'll get on to our main topic around 9 o'clock-ish, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit later. Tightly scripted, this show is not. And David and I will just waffle a little bit about what we saw at Partizan. I've categorized all of my still pics that we took on the day. So I've got about a library of about 120 pictures. So I'll probably have that rolling as a slideshow just to prompt us to chat about stuff. Darren, as is per tradition, is straight in there. So Darren is working on bases for the rescue. Oh, harvesters. You mean these, sir?
Oh, well,
to be fair, all credit. This is where I got the idea for using these as Frostgrave, because I saw Darren's work on them on his Instagram. And obviously, when we read the description of those monsters, I thought, I know what they sound like. I've seen something like that recently. So I thought, while we're at Partizan, let's pick a box up, because they will do just the tickety-boo. In fact, if I get for everybody, that's made a mess of that. Let's straighten that sign up. For everybody who doesn't know, we're currently playing through the Frostgrave Red King campaign, and if you look at Mission 3, Scenario 3, the Veil of Unreality, there's a creature.
Does that mean there's a creature? Pandy? Oh, he's in a car.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough, Pandy. There is a creature called a foul horn, and I think when you look at the description, it says they are tough, fast, tough, and vicious, with 4 arms, 2 of which end in heavy sword-like appendages. That sounds very much like the big, large-clawed beasties from that Harvesters set. So, and as the Wargames Atlantic miniatures are insane value for money, I thought, well, we'll pick some of those up and use them as foul horns in Frostgrave.
In for a penny, in for a
pound. So Shakos is looking at a pile of 96 land there he needs to paint. I like that he says he's looking at it. Is that better? Excuse me, 1-to-1 scale terrain. Are you being funny there? Facetious. That's the word. What are you doing? Are you doing DIY or what? Yeah, I don't. That's intriguing. So, do you want to go first, mate? Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
hang on a sec.
Let's go first.
Before we do that, can you guys give us some feedback in chat on David's audio? Now the super observant and regular viewer will notice that David's backdrop looks very different. So I'm noticing in my monitors his audio it's very different and not as good as it has been previously. There's a lot of background noise, so it could be, but my monitors are not the same as your feed, unfortunately. It's not a 1-for-1, so you might still be getting relatively good audio.
Smarter packaging.
Okay, Darren says it does sound a little choppy. It's not. They're noticing it's different to normal. Okay, guys.
We'll have a look.
Because the other thing is, as well, it's almost like it's clipping out, mate, when you're talking. Yeah, choppy.
It might be the gate I put on. Let me just take that off. Right,
that's cleaner. It's not chopping out. As I say, we've still got sort of like a background hiss, sort of.
Yeah, you're gonna have a whine because the observant amongst you may notice that this thing here is moving backwards and forwards.
As I say, thanks very much for the help, guys. What we'll do is we'll probably do a little bit of a troubleshoot. Obviously, it's unfortunately with David changing his working on his hobby room and changing his layout. That's a good shout. Are you sure which audio source you're using? Are you using your good quality mic or are you using the crap one?
I'm using the good mic. Microphone.
Shakos thinks the machine is probably the hiss.
There you go. Yeah. It could well be.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, technical difficulties over.
Right. Give me a second, and I'll show everybody at home what I'm doing. I just need to get my spray shield
So I can
out.
go first if you want.
Yeah. No, it's all right. Go down to my camera.
So
I'm putting a little paper skirt around my trees because I bought this shit. Heavy duty spray adhesive, as you can all just see. I stuck to the paper. But what we're doing is getting them ready to apply the plant foliage to. So we're just hitting them with the spray adhesive.
Putting them through a piece of paper to shield it. Well done. Good thinking, Batman.
Yeah, it shields all the base from getting covered in it. I just might need to make another one of these in a minute. Apply tub.
Did you end up getting some more foliage, or are you is that your first lot?
I need to order some, probably.
Okay.
Is the honest answer. The main reason being we are a fair way through my bag. And we've currently done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trees. And we have all of... Let me take you out of the holster. We have all that left to go.
I don't know. There might be more there than you think. The problem is, obviously, as it gets lower and lower and lower in amount, it's difficult to submerge the trees and get them to cover evenly. So you always need slightly more than you think.
To be fair, I have been squeezing it on. Yes, there will be a slight echo, Pandy, because I emptied the entire room today, added IKEA furniture, and I haven't had a chance to add all the shit back in.
That's why it's a bit boomy.
So unfortunately, that'll be where there's a bit of an echo. But yeah, we've got 8 done, and then this is what they're looking like. This is one that I trialed out, because actually, boys and girls at home, you can help me here. So this was a tree done with the spray adhesive. This was a tree done with Oohoo contact cement. Is there much of a discernible difference or none at all? What do we reckon at home? So contact cement on the left, spray adhesive on the right.
The spray adhesive looks like it looks more natural because the tree isn't as bare high up. Do you know what I mean? There's the one where you've used the contact cement, the flock is very focused at the end of the branches, and you've got a lot of bare branch there, which makes them make them look very realistic to me. You don't get trees normally that are that open, do you?
But then this is a spray adhesive one that is quite open
it's
anyway.
A bit variable then, presumably. Yeah, Darren says it looks about the same. I mean, there's not much in it. Yeah, well, it's like I said, the ones at the club, I said to you, go for the fast option because I couldn't really tell a difference. And you just did say it was a lot quicker using the spray adhesive.
Shield and spray adhesive.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Are you done then, mate?
Public service announcement, don't pick up the sticky paper with...
Yeah, okay.
This is good by night tonight, isn't it? Just sticking random bits of paper.
They don't need the public service announcement. They know exactly.
I will be sealing it with IPA application and then PVA and water to seal it in. Is my plan. So.
Right. Okay. To be fair, you've got to do some sort of sealing step because unless you use latex, it'll always. You're not running any software or anything extra. Because you're still clipping out for me.
No.
Maybe it is just me. We'll have to watch the stream back and see what's going on. Yeah, you've got some audio filters on, have you, like compression and shit? You've turned it all off, so you just
No, I've turned it all off now.
Okay.
And
okay,
it's
that's fine.
Put,
we'll troubleshoot later. Let me show everybody what I'm working on. I'm doing something different, which I know is going to shock everybody because it's like, oh fucking hell, Paul's working on the same 2 projects he's always worked on.
With me, I found out where the issue might be. Yeah.
Bloody voice meter banana. Well, that's a hell of a lot. That's a hell of a lot cleaner, whatever you've just done. It's
I was running out. I was running out of the streaming camera, not
which is exactly what the guy said.
Sorted now.
Just give me a sound test because what it has done is binge your voice level.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Shut up about my internet. My internet is fine.
Spam. Give me a quick brown fox. Quick brown fox.
Quick fox jumped over the lazy dog.
We might tweak the level. That's dog. So much better, mate. Yeah, lower but clean. Yeah, oh, that's so much better. Again, guys, just as the stream goes on, just give me some feedback on the level because I want us at parity. It looks like we're peaking at about the same level, but it's a tricky thing to set up. So just any helpful comments, mate. That is so much better. Whatever you've done was genius.
Crispin, maybe it's my shite computer.
Shite operator, look, Crispin. Shite operator. Better. Anyway, Paul's doing something new.
It's better than Paul's.
Now then, barbed wire. I talked about it before. Obviously, you guys know I've had this project on the go for a little bit, but we're getting there. We have made progress. We're fully assembled. So what we have here are the Pegasus Hobbies plastic barbed wire kit. We've got standard 1mm white plasticard bases, a little bit of PVA and sand to add some texture. We've then got modeller's matches, which we've cut into like an X shape and used a hot glue gun to make these cruciform supports. Then we've got a piece of a kebab stick running through the center just to bind everything together. And as I say, these are I'm really happy with the way they looked in terms of the modeling. I stand by my comment. This stuff is fine and it's cheap, but better. You just use wire. If you're going to model barbed wire, particularly at 28mm, just get wire. You can get double wrapped wire. It's easier to work with. These have already had breakages where I've had to go in. Super glue won't stick them because it's ridiculously thin. You've got to use hot glue, and so you get them big blobs everywhere. I mean, I'm not too bothered because it's scattered terrain. Nobody's looking at it closely, and if they are, then why? They shouldn't be. But I'm really happy with the look, and it was quite easy to achieve. For a scratch build piece. I've done 4 feet's worth. I've got 12 4-inch lengths, so I've got 48 inches of barbed wire. My job tonight is to just get some primer down on them. I was going to use an Army Painter rattle can, but of course we had all the fine weather. Then just when I came to the point of priming it, the weather went complete dog shit. So let me pull one of the better ones. So here we go. In terms of order of operations, guys, the first thing to do is prepare your bases. These are 4-inch by 1-inch strips. The next step is to prepare these X's, these cruciform supports. Again, these are standard modeller's matches that people use to build ships and buildings out of. Cut them roughly in half so that they're just under 1 inch long, and then use hot glue to glue them in a rough X shape. use hot glue to stick them down to the plastic. I then applied the base texture, which was basically smear it with good thick PVA and then dunk it in some builder's sand, or you can use a basing mix of sand and tile grout. When that's gone off and dried, I then put the wire and the central kebab stick on at the same time, because you've basically got to thread the pole through and glue the wire loop down on it. In terms of preparing the barbed wire, I think I showed you guys on one of our previous live streams, when you get this stuff from Pegasus Hobbies, it's on a sprue. But if you get like double wrapped wire, just literally take something like a fat marker pen that looks roughly the right width. I use this, just a generic permanent marker pen. Wrap the wire around this, and then what I did was cut it into roughly 10 wraps. So 10 circumferences. Every 10 I just made a clip and separated the length off. Then when you stretch them out, that's what you get. And then it's literally just use a dab of glue. Wherever the plastic gets close enough to these supports to hold, just stick. I used hot glue, but you could use super glue or whatever you like. Actually, I use a mix of super glue and hot glue because David lent me some thick stuff, which was pretty good. But yeah, what's that?
For fuck's sake, you dirty bastard. You saying I've lent you some thick stuff.
So yeah, as I say, that's where we're at, and I'm just going to be basically trying to get some primer on it. Now that does mean, sadly, airbrush ASMR for everybody, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, let's go back now. Stop knocking the camera. Let's get rid of that, because that's the other thing I don't want to do is fucking airbrush my mobile, because that would be bad news bears.
I thought you'd like some black primer as a tint over it.
Well, on the phone, yeah, that's great, that is. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. Let's get them all on top of the plastic, because I used one of these decorating sheets on my hobby desk just to catch overspray from airbrush. So
yeah, to be fair, I need to do that or get
it's
an
just
extractor.
that I get the fucking stuff everywhere, all over my keyboard and phone, and Christ knows what if I don't. So
see, I'm not too bad with getting it everywhere because I've spent years on a tiny little fucking tiny desk, but now we have like massive desk, and I'm still
yeah. You said when you
bigger.
were
yeah.
Yeah, what did I see that somebody said that he didn't do basing? Ewok didn't base his barbed wire. So what did you do? Do you just store the coils? Do you just store the coils loose then, Ewok? How does that work? Is it basically similar to what I've got, but just the pieces are just free? Whoops, not that one, Paul. Let's go to right. So yeah, now then, what in terms of well, no, let's tell them about what we did at club. So what did you get up to at club?
I ran an intro game of Armada for two new guys that are quite called, 40k focused. Richard and Tom, they both really enjoyed it. They're both on about getting into it, so we'll see longer term what that comes out for.
So you had a pretty successful game. What did you do? Did you just do a basic engage and destroy scenario? Nothing too sophisticated for
just basically kick shit out of one another. Just the kill points one. Because it's just the easiest to start understanding the movement and mechanics and everything else. Do you know what I mean?
Just, excuse me, I need to get my airbrush from behind my curtain. Oh, God. Oh, God, it's all going wrong. I wish I had a really snazzy spray booth. I have to treat myself. I'll have to get you to come and build me one. You're a DIY fucking legend, aren't you? I'll build me some sort of fucking spray booth for my airbrushing, so I don't have all this fucking rigmarole every time I want to use it.
Do you want a little
something that's easier than transforming my desk into a safe space to hobby?
Yeah, but how it currently looks is a fucking meth lab, mate. Just saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've seen you with your fucking murderers, tarps, and stranglers gloves on.
He had a point. Yeah, Ewok says cross pieces and wire wrapped into them, no glue used. Oh, okay, so you wrap, but then again, you use wire. You see, that's probably, you definitely made the smart move there.
Yeah, true. Again, the other thing is, if you got the wire, you don't need to paint the fucker, whereas you're at the point you need to paint it, etc. Because it's
although to be fair,
really
my paint job that I'm planning is basically paint everything brown, apply wash to both the wood and the ground.
Yeah.
Go back in and paint the wire.
Yeah.
And then just stick some static grass and tufts on, and then call the fuckers done.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I'm not going super technical on it. Yeah, that's probably a good shout, Paul. Weathering the barbed wire is probably a damn good idea. I don't know, probably just dry brush some dark orange on it, maybe. I haven't really decided about painting the barbed wire. I'll probably just...
Thing is, with the scarlet, is that I think it will just look odd. You'd be better off just going for a really dark gunmetal.
Yeah, like a dark metallic grey, or even just a dark grey, and don't even go metallic, because even the metallic might look slightly odd, because the wire is such a thin scale. Oh yeah, do that, Ewok. That sounds awesome, buddy. Yeah, mud's a good shout, actually. I should probably... What I could do is, when I've finished them, put some weathering powders over the whole shebang. Or dry brush it with like a beigey brown. Anyway, what did I do at club? I played Infinity. Which I always enjoy doing. Playing Infinity. Can't get enough. So, I played against Alex, one of the guys from our club. Now, I think this is probably Alex's third or fourth game. Yeah.
I think it's his fourth.
And this was the full Monty. This was 300 points. My JSA against... Did I paint the Infinity models? I painted mine. Alex painted his Hacker's Lamb. Unfortunately, we were enjoying the game so much, I literally took this picture at the start and didn't take any other pictures. So all you get to see is the board layouts, guys. I do apologise. But yeah, Alex's Hacker's Lamb, he is a very good paint. They are fucking amazing. They are gorgeous. He is a very good painter and hobbyist, and his models looked fantastic. Basically, we played. We were still running the ITS 14, which was the tour, which is like the mission pack from the previous year, because I forgot to bring the ITS 15 with me in my hobby box. We played I think the mission was called Mind Wipe. And basically what it was, you had like computer servers in your deployment zone that had like a rogue AI program, and the opponent had to get a hacker up or somehow get up and destroy the computer with the AI in it. It was a really, really good game. Even Alex enjoyed it. It ended up being 9-1 to me. It was a bit of a steamroller, but that sort of the final score, as is sometimes the case with Infinity, the final score is a little bit deceptive of how the game went. I had a couple of moments where I was incredibly lucky. One of the things that I was very lucky with was deployment. And I have 2 models in my army that are mine laying, and I managed to place my protective or defensive mines in such a way that they caused maximum problem for Alex. And they were one of the things that definitely swung the game in my favour. Yet again, Alex proved what an absolute master of Overwatch he is. As I photographed the board, the deployment zone nearest the bottom is me, and Alex deployed up at the opposite side. And if you look at in the top center, there's like some blue containers and some white containers to their right. Basically, Alex put he put his tag, which was the one beginning with S. What's the Hack Islam tag, guys? Anybody who plays Infinity?
Not a clue.
Thanks, Ewok. We'll have a look at I'll have a look at your barbed wire. He basically put his tag on suppression fire, and then he had a battle suit that he put on suppression fire, and he got a brilliant triangulated fire zone that was just an absolute nightmare for me to break. And again, my strategy during turn 2 to break this defensive line was basically I took my Daiokai, which is my big armored battle suit, and I charged at his tag, just firing my pistol, trying not to get killed. It was no real plan at all, and I had no right for it coming off, but it did. And I managed to get close enough because the ninja was defending my servers in hidden deployment just in case he played aggressive. But as it was, I ended up not needing the ninja because he didn't even get that far because the rest of my army stopped him mid-table. So the ninja ended up being completely wasted. But as is the case with JSA, we're really bad at range. But once we close for the combat, we start to fucking wreck face. So like my damaged and wounded battlesuit just went into close combat with his tag and just took a katana and chopped it into fucking bits. It was like ching 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 ching. One tag a la carte, mate. It was fucking wrecked. So as I say, and then in the last turn of the game, I had Yojimbo, who's a character model on a motorbike, and he just hoofed it right into his deployment zone after pretty much everything else was dead or disabled by smoke, and then started smashing up his computer servers with his anti-material close combat weapon. So again, you're playing Japanese. What's it? It's katanas for the win. Basically, I just chopped everything up with fucking big swords. So it was a really cool game. And in terms of Infinity, I tell you what was interesting about this game, just before I bore everybody to death and we move on. Infinity is an extremely crunchy, granular game where you are constantly looking to make the best or looking to optimize every dice roll. But what it rarely is, in my experience, is cinematic. But this game proved to me just how cinematic Infinity can be. Like I say, my Daiokai Dengekitai just running around the corner, blasting with its heavy pistol while this fusillade of fire comes from this tag braced with his heavy machine guns, and then sort of like barreling into him and then chopping him up. Yojimbo hoofing it across the board on his motorbike, tossing smoke grenades left and right to try and not get shredded by machine gun fire. It was an absolutely it was just a great game. Absolutely great game. Alex, as always, is a fantastic opponent. In terms of you couldn't wish for a better opponent. He's got he's just got a great attitude towards sportsmanship and fun first, even when things are getting tight and crunchy. And again, all credit to Alex. I took because he put me in such a difficult spot in turn 2. My turn 2 dragged out, and I became I got into a real analysis paralysis, and I was like, there is no good at every fucking option is shit. Everything that he wants, there isn't a good thing for me to do. I'm on the back foot, and I can't break through. And I spent ages deliberating, and he didn't nag me, he didn't stress out, he just let me crack on with it. And as I say, in the end, I got more lucky than I deserved, I think. But yeah, brilliant game. I'm going to still stick to my assertion. Infinity is the best miniatures war game on the market. There is definitely a group of players that it isn't for. It is extremely rules dense, and it's extremely thinky.
Crunchy as fuck.
But
yeah,
like I say, there's only 3 turns aside. The game doesn't last as long as you think it does. Things are over very quickly. It's very lethal. It's very cinematic. So if you haven't played it, you should try it at least before you write it off as it's not a game for you. Definitely. Right. That's enough for me waffling about Infinity. I promise I'm done. Yeah, I've said my piece.
You said your piece. You've waxed lyrical
so let's now. To be honest, we don't really have a hell of a lot. Let me just open this up. Do you know what? The only thing I'm going to do for news tonight is I am going to shout out some of the other coverage and videos of Partizan that I've seen online. So this first one is Storm of Steel, I think. So yeah, this is Storm of Steel Wargaming. This is a bit of a mixed video. So he's got some fantastic photography. He's got some video clips, some sort of table sweeps, and he's got a couple of interviews with various people, just to break it up a bit. So I would highly recommend this video. The next one that I watched was this one by Miniature Adventures. This one is basically just a photo blog with a backing soundtrack. It's literally just like a photo slideshow. But the quality of the photography is excellent. Some of if you want to see how beautiful the tables looked in absolutely top quality photos, I'd recommend this one. And another one that I haven't watched, but I'm going to give him a shout anyway because he's in the chat. Shakos and Sprues has got a video up, 35 minutes. And I'm looking forward to watching this later, Shakos. So yeah, I tell you, something that I like watching Alex's channel for is product reviews. He tends to do like terrain sets, mats, those sort of things. He's a very good channel. It is a very good channel. So yeah, this is Shakos and Sprues has got his Partizan show up, video up. Obviously everybody's been talking about it in the chat. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list of things to do. And that's it, pretty much. Henry Hyde. Okay, good shout, Darren. Is that the name of his channel, or is that his name and his channel's called something different? Just so that everybody's clued up. Also, if you guys have got any videos that you want to shout out or recommend, do it now in the chat so that if people are watching along later, they can go and check them out. Hey, look, stop. I know exactly. Look, don't beat yourself up, Shakos. Do you know what? You got the footage. You put it out there. I felt exactly the same about as our Dicini video. When you do these things, you just think, oh, that could be better. That audio shit. He's out of frame. Why aren't we tighter? Where's the But do you know what? One thing that I will share with anybody who wants to do this YouTube thing, just do it. Okay? Stop trying to think about producing top quality, perfect videos or footage. Make a start and then get better by practice and iteration and buying equipment, and just do it baby steps. Just make a start. It's incredibly satisfying. It's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. I think David would agree. Even these little streams that we do, when you're holding down a full-time job as well, sometimes you're just like, really? But
you know what? Yeah,
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Often when I've come into one of these stream events feeling a little bit low, a couple of hours interacting with you guys, and it lifts my mood and it lifts my spirits. No, good for you. Good for you, Shakos. Ultimately, in our little corner of the hobby, don't chase the numbers. You'll never get there. Just do it for the pleasure of doing it.
I do have some news.
Okay, Darren says, just for clarification, the name of the channel is Henry Hyde, Hyde. So, obviously, if you're watching this now, stop and going over and check out his video. In fact, you can check out all of the videos we've just shared. Storm of Steel Wargaming, Miniature Adventures, was it? Miniature Adventures.
I think so.
2 words. And Shakos, SHAKOS, and Sprues. See chat for spelling. Chat for spelling. Other side. Right. I need to get on. You talk, I work.
The other bit of news I have, I don't have any reviews or promo video for it. We've got a new TT combat game coming to Kickstarter.
Ooh.
Strike Team Commander. It's being announced at UK Games Expo, so we will bring you all the juicy gossip.
So what? Are they holding all the Kickstarter announcements until then, mate? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. They've said that it's going to Kickstarter, but obviously not what the pledge levels are like, not when it's going live, etc. Everything else. So.
Oh, do you know what, Shakos? I watched his video as well. Warspites, yes. Warspite, again, good video. I watched it. I should have put it on the list. I think it was the first one. To be fair, I think it was the first one I watched. Unlike last year, he did 2 shorter videos. He did a slightly longer one. This year, but what Warspite tends to do is sort of, again, sweeping camera shots over the table, but he's got narration over it, so he's describing what he's looking at and he's telling you about the table that you're seeing. So yeah, good shout, well done. Sorry mate, carry on.
So yeah, we've got 28mm drop zone coming soon.
When we saw the promo miniatures, you and I called that, didn't we?
Fucking called it. It.
Interesting.
Because this week they have teased on their Facebook page 32mm Bear, which is the personnel carrier for the UCM, and they've teased 32mm P8 Walker.
So they're doing vehicles at their scale as well. Ooh, yes. That's a surprise. So, have you been up to anything interesting since we saw each other at the weekend? In terms of, obviously you've been doing your DIY. Do you want to tell everybody what you've been up to in terms of renovating your hobby room?
I can do. So I had a shit ton of IKEA delivered the other week. We've gone for the classic white oak Clampton, or however the fucking hell you pronounce it, worktops. So I've got a 2-meter worktop running all the way down this side. I've got wash station, resin printer, FDM printer. Got my PC set up in the corner with a PC underneath. I've got a cupboard under the desk here that's got just a normal door on it. Then on the end of this 1.4 meter length here, so basically the entire L is 2x2. On the end of this side, we've got a set of Alex drawers. And then once I sorted out some other bits and pieces, I'm actually going to join the desk. I've got the overhead light that Spam bought me for my birthday. I've got my microphone, camera, and mounts all along the back of this. And yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. The only thing I have got to sort out is a new mounting solution for my SCARDIS pegboards for my Vallejo so that they can sit off
the
frame down the side here.
Racking and
I've got to get some tapestry and bits and pieces. Yeah. Yeah, I've gone all out, but the thing is, no, there won't be a room tour next week, Pandy, unless you want to see a room tour of the inside of a hotel. Because next week, boys and girls, is UK Games Expo. We're going to announce it now. There will be no stream on Thursday. We are
so just in case it's going to take you guys by surprise, there will be nothing on our channel next Thursday. After our little experiment last year, when we tried to record a little video in the hotel room, now that we know that my dog shit laptop can't even render whatever it was, a 5-minute clip without fucking up the audio, I'm not even going to bother. We will wait until we get back, and we'll tell you all about it after the event.
UK Games Expo, Pandy, you dumb motherfucker. Yeah, no, the light was a birthday present from Spam. It's the Daylight Company's Luminos light that's fully... Let me pull it down into shot, because I don't think anybody's actually seen this. So it's fully adjustable, rotating, and also, if I push the button in, vertically as well. It's really nice, and it's got 3 brightness settings. You went to Brokeback Expo and experimented in the hotel room. Hang on. Let me see if I can find something, boys and girls. Bear with me.
Who's that?
Because we've got a few minutes before we go to the main topic. If we go here...
That's fucking genius.
We're looking for last year, which was 23.
What are you trying to do? Find the picture of all the gear set up in the hotel room?
Yeah, bear with me. I've got it. Let me export it. It's portrait, but incoming on
mate.
Discord, Paul.
So you're going to expect me to share that with everybody?
To be fair, I had the one Luke recommended that was about 30 quid, and it served me well.
What's
that? It definitely served me well. This is the desktop light. This one that Spam got me for my birthday is just fucking night and day better. The fact that I can use it as an entire room light if I want to is mental. And it's a really good colour. The only thing is it doesn't really seem to like.
I apologise.
Is this the moment, Pandy, where we tell them you're just at the
while I'm accessing Discord, our
from us?
stream may be degrading because I am pushing my PC to its absolute breaking point. So I apologise if things are getting a little bit clippy and that. I'm just trying to get this photo for up for David. Now then, let's see if I can work out how to share this with everybody. Well, if I put that on, no, I better not. No, yeah, I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna download it to my computer, save image. Because if I share that, I will actually be sharing all the passwords and access for the stream, which is bad idea. OneDrive, pictures, saved pictures, open, save. Right, okay. Right, now I've done that, I'm actually going to close Discord to free up a little bit of memory.
So that your computer doesn't set itself on fire.
That doesn't die. Yeah, so because you saw that light was another thing from Expo, wasn't it? It was another little Expo hot. That's where we first saw them, wasn't it?
Yeah, the daylight.
And are you happy with it? I've not really asked you.
Oh, definitely
recommend it.
Happy with it. It's fucking phenomenal. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Particularly if you've got the space and the setup for it. It is quite nice because I was a bit worried when I built this desk up this morning where the fuck it was going to go, because historically I'd had it quite forward. But because the head all swivels and goes to different angles, it means that actually I've got it mounted out quite far to the left. Then it's coming all the way across.
No, I think actually part of the problem, Darren, is I'm running Windows 10 on a PC that probably would be more comfortable running Windows 98. That's partly the issue. But yeah, this is the slightly dodgy setup that was in the hotel room that I'm sure nobody thought was being used as a fucking impromptu porn suite. The only
we had what? Floodlighting. We had my microphones clamped onto the tripod. We had the webcam on the top.
The only consolation is half of the hotel rooms, particularly at the big hotel there, I can't remember which one it's, but with all the exhibitors and media people, they've all got setups for filming stuff anyway. So the only consolation is we were in good company, I feel. I imagine a lot of the cleaning staff were seeing the same thing.
We weren't the only ones.
But yeah, as you say, slight.
I imagine that video is unlisted.
Yeah.
Lol. That's on our only paints, Darren.
Yeah, Cheese VTM, our only paints profile. That's fucking. Well, you've been doing DIY hobby room shit, haven't you? What have I been up to?
Yeah.
I don't know as I've been up to much, frankly. The last couple of days, obviously getting these ready to go.
Are we doing like we said and doing a haul
Doing a
tour
what?
From Partizan?
Well,
haul tour.
What I've done is I've categorized the photographs so that they are in the same sort of like groupings as the sections of the floor plan. So if everybody has their floor plan ready, then they'll be able to follow along with the traders and the demonstration games and the participation games. We didn't get everything photoed, but again, what's the time? Look, it's 8:55. Let's start talking about Partizan.
Let's
start talking about Partizan. Just let me finish. Let me get a bit more paint on this one. because I'm trying to do them, trying to do the sides.
Oh, I will be halfway through my trees in a minute, and I've used a full bag.
So you definitely need to get more then.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to clean this.
Light green FC682 from Woodland Scenics.
Okay. Gimme. How's this going? What have we got left in here? Oh, we've got plenty. Right. Okay. Back to the computer, everybody. So what should we start with then? Should we start with the participation games? So if I go to these guys. Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, while Paul's sorting this out, Shakos, was lovely seeing you at Partizan and putting a face to the name, buddy.
Right. Access to keyboard is a little tricky. This is really...
Because you fucking
damn it.
your room
right,
up, haven't
okay.
you?
Okay.
Yeah, but you've already seen our face, buddy.
Okay.
We're here every week.
Let's see if we can get this content to share with everybody at home. No, we don't want that. We want this one.
Get on there, you bastard.
Is that going to work? Is that going to work? Apparently not. Oh. Yeah, it is going to work. Okay, right. Okay. Back. Right. Okay.
One thing I will say, this Turner and Gage spray adhesive from B&M is very
There
good.
you go, guys. We've now got a little... So these are some of the participation games that we're running. What you've got is you'll now... I'm first of all going to say my photography is nowhere near as good as some of the photography out there on YouTube. So if you want to see more, go and check out some of the videos we discussed earlier, or find some of the other people who've done fantastic photo shoots for the show itself. But what I thought I'd do is, rather than us go through it blow by blow, we'll just talk. We will do stream of consciousness talking about the show and what we thought, while the slideshow's running in the background. It's on a loop, so it'll come back round again.
So we're on participation games, aren't
this
we?
this one that's up here now is quite an interesting one. So this was a quirky little game. I think it was Wargames Development was the people doing it. And what it was a tiny little... Well, I say tiny little. It was actually quite large scale. I think it might have been 54 mil. But basically, what they did was you had like about 8 miniatures, not particularly well presented or painted, on a dodgy looking table, which represented the Battle of the Bulge, and it was like the Battle of the Bulge in 4 dice rolls with a tiny little narrative experience, which I sat down and did, and it was a really clever idea for a little bit of interaction for somebody who was like completely green and new to the whole rolling dice and playing at war sort of experience. It was quite a clever little thing. Not a massive thing, but a clever little thing nonetheless.
There was the app, because while you were doing that, I was taking pictures of or videos of the absolutely huge. Was it
I can't remember, mate, to be honest. I know that on the programme it was called All Hell Let Loose, and it was a 6mm recreation of some of the D-Day landings, wasn't it?
It was fucking mental. It was huge. It was.
I mean, I'll tell you one of the things that, obviously, this was David and ours and mine's first Partizan. I was surprised how much non-historical stuff there was there. I think for those...
I'll tell you what as well, like just on screen at the moment is the Doomed participation game. It's a shame I didn't get to get on there and play that, because it's a game I've been excited to have a look at. Back to you, mate.
As I say, the Doomed was obviously there. They had a group of people had done like a 40k 60mm. Well, it was 40k miniatures or prints of 40k style Sisters of Battle and that sort of thing, with a completely non-GW rule set. But you had, oh Jesus, what other stuff did they have there? They had Oathmark, had a participation table there. Saga is pseudo-historical, though. I mean, the point I was trying to get across was that it surprised me. The Forlorn Hope, the big battle, the big bloody, what's that? Battlefleet Gothic, that's what I was thinking of. So they did a big sort of like, again, slightly modified rule set, but GW's Battlefleet Gothic. I need to comment on this one. Right, this was one of the, I think it's a board game cafe local to the area. The chap there, don't know his name, but he had, who remembers Mythic Battles Pantheon? It was one of the first Kickstarters from Mythic Games in partnership with Monolith. And it was quite big on Tabletop back in the day. To be honest with you, Damon, we were. You guys are sharing. Queen section was white subsection for the win. That D-Day table was incredible. But anyway, back to this. I think it was a local games cafe. The chap there basically had a 4x4 table where he'd recreated the zoned battle boards, or one of the zoned battle boards from the Mythic Battles Pantheon board game. He had virtually his entire collection fully painted.
We've only got 6 minis not painted.
It was absolutely fucking inspiring. When I finish faffing about with the airbrush, I'll probably bring just that picture up. But oh my god, the Accelerate and Attack. This is another non-historical game. It was guys playing. It was again like a Battlefleet Gothic type spaceship engagement thing.
What was the other thing that those were playing? They were playing
there was like a Weird World War. Wings of Glory, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was I
think it was Wings of Glory. The rule set, but obviously it was like you say, it was a Weird World War, like alternate history thing going on. There was a cool. They had the what's it called? A Beautiful Civil War, or that alternate history end of World War One, where Britain has a civil war, a very British civil war. There was a big table with that on, which was fucking amazing. Yeah, that Mythic Battles was disgustingly good. And what was depressing about it, Shakos, was obviously I've got the Kickstarter upstairs and I've only painted about 6 models. And it was like, oh, so here's what I could have done if I'd have been motivated and anywhere near fucking productive. That's depressing. Thanks for that. But yeah, fucking amazing. There was I think it was a small war games club was running a little demo game. I think it was pitched at kids, a participation game, where there was like people like Dick Dastardly and Muttley, and it was like a raft race across a river. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the presentation on the tables was bog basic. I mean, this guy was playing on basically a folded spreadsheet, a folded bed sheet, with, you know, barely painted or products, but, you know, good on him. He was creating something for the kids to participate in. I think this is
0 Hour that's just been across
yeah,
screen
that was
another good one that was participation and looked really good. World War One, but larger scale, not skirmish.
That sounded quite interesting. That's a game coming from British Gripping Beast later in the year. But I tell you what, so there's the first takeaway is Partizan is not just historicals. There is loads of stuff there. So just in case you were thinking, well, it's not going to appeal to me, blah, blah, blah. You won't find much. You won't find Mantic and GW there, but you will find
Warlord there. That's
but
about
you
the biggest
will
name
find
that's
stuff
there.
that's not just historicals. So yeah.
Oh, and
two fat laddies had their own zone. They had 5 tables, I think, of just Two Fat Laddies games. The Very British Civil War was a great look. I mean, that brings me to the next point, okay? Some of the tables were amazing. There is no other word for it. Some of the work that had gone into preparing the terrain and the armies for... In fact, I don't know, has this gone full loop yet? I think it probably has, hasn't it? Right, well, let's...
Yeah, I think it has.
Oh, fucking hell. Regrets doing this while fucking airbrushing. Regrets. Alt tab. Should have just done one of my other hobby projects. Let's go back to the main view for people. Because we're only 10 minutes in. We can rerun all these things, or we can go into them in more depth. I'm going to pull up this. Now I'm going to pull up some of the pictures of the... These weren't participation, but these were what were listed in the program as the demonstration game tables. So these were the things that were either incredibly complex or bloated and were designed to be played all day, and were there more for just eye candy than anything else. Yeah, so
looking pretty.
No, not that one. Okay, so here we go. So, as I say, these are the demonstration game tables, and my pictures will not do them justice. Some of the tables were just stunning. One of my favourites was, I think it was some guys, they were called The Bunker. I don't know if they're a gaming club or what they are, but they did like an Indiana Jones style table.
That with that fucking 6-engine flying,
yeah, they've done like
German thing, and the pyramids of Luxor on the table. It was just
they'd got like a little Cairo street
gorgeous
scene at one end of the table, hadn't they? And then like a bloody great model Sphinx at the other end of the table, and a German airfield and loads of shenanigans in the middle. it was just all over about 15, 20 feet. It's just fucking crazy. Another table that was absolutely breathtaking and captured your attention from across the room was some guys had done a game based around the conquistadors fighting, I guess, Aztecs, and the terrain. They'd done the massive stepped pyramids, the Aztec architecture. Again, it was a huge table, 20 foot long at least. It was just amazing. Yeah, do you know what, Darren? Damon, rather, that makes complete sense. Damon Brentnell says the basic ethos of the organisers is to encourage demo games to be the best that people can do, and that, do you know what, that really shows, mate. Because they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I mean, some were more polished than others, don't get me wrong. But you know, the tables that were at their best were just stunning, absolutely stunning, and even down to the painting of the actual individual models, the terrain.
Well, again, this league of gentlemen that's on screen now, fucking amazing. Set in a World War II British village. Some German paratroopers have landed. The Home Guard are there after the villagers have taken pitchforks and tried to chase them off. Beautiful scenery. We should have really asked where half of this stuff came from. Whether
I imagine the answer would have been a lot of it was, to be honest, because that.
No, but again, it had been nice.
It was a beautiful table,
gorgeous,
and the other thing,
table.
do you know what this is? The other thing was, like, when you look at some of the photography, again, David and I literally, we did get our footage for our video, and we spoke to some people, but that we ran it. We could have. We didn't have enough time to go into depth on everything that we wanted. No.
With everyone, no.
So it's just, there is a lot going on at Partizan. A lot going on. It's a big show. But yeah, as I was going to say, if people see some of the photography of this table on the other channels or the other videos, you'll see that each of the models has got a name and a story. The actual what was going on in the game was just so intriguing. I just wish I could have sat at that table for 3 hours and just watched it all play out. Yeah. I mean, Jesus, it's just amazing. That their Midgard is one of the newer offerings. I think that rule set is coming out later this year.
Yes, it is. It's currently in the hand of
it's the
publishers.
Beginning with W, but it's part of the Big Fat Lardies company. Is it Weimar Publishing?
No,
yeah, something
like
that.
Isn't it? Or something
Correct
like
us in the chat, guys. You'll know what the publishing are. But as I say, I think it's part of the Two Fat Lardies operation.
It's the same one it's the same company
Strength
that
and
produced
Honor.
the
Strength and Honor that we looked
rules.
at Dicini.
Yeah.
Same company there. So yeah, that's the second point that I would make as somebody who went there first time. The quality of the tables will blow you away. This is that Indiana Jones table that we even had a silly name, the quest for Ramalama Ding Dong or something. Temple of Ramalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, Temple of Ramalama Ding Dong.
Again, just in case you thought everybody was taking themselves too seriously, no, not at all. So yeah, quality of the tables, stunning, absolutely stunning. Let's come back to Night Cheese Me. Yeah,
Not Tuesday.
Ricewitz Press, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Shakos. We were close, mate, but not quite. Another thing is the actual variety, okay? There were about 3 or 4 World War II tables, but that was far from it. There was everything.
There was
There was American Civil War, there was American Civil War, there was Italian
40K,
Italian war. Now, I think it was when they were trying to Italian War of Independence. Where I think they were fighting the French and Vatican forces or Vatican allies.
Yeah, the Napoleonics.
Yeah, there was like
tables.
American-Spanish War, I think, was covered. There was, oh my God, there was English Civil War. I don't think anybody did War of the Roses. That was about the only thing that I didn't see there. There was, there was just 30 Years War. There was a table. What the fuck else was there? There was just everything. If you can think of it, there was a table. So that it was not at all one-dimensional. It was so varied. Yeah, that Mentana game, that was like an Italian. That was Italy, wasn't it? There was a fantastic table. Now I can't remember the name of the club or the guys who did it. They had a weird name. It is in the photos coming up. But it was Indian revolt when fucking hell.
Yeah, I know
that
the one
was
you're about.
Amazing
that
table.
Table was gorgeous. Massive resin fall, looked amazing. We're over halfway through my trees, but I haven't quite got enough foliage left to do another one. So
are you down in tools then, as you are out of foliage? That's it, guys. He's done. He's finished.
I'm going to move on to the next thing, I think.
So yeah, quality, variety. Boondock Saints. Thanks very much, Damon. Yep. Scales. That's another thing. Can anybody think of a scale that wasn't there? I think I saw 12, 15, 20, 28, 6. I didn't see any 2.
6.
Did I see 2mm?
2.
The D-Day was 6. Can anybody tell me, was there any 2mm there? Yeah. Oh God, it was incredible. Yeah, and obviously larger scales as well. I mean, I don't know what scale the Forlorn Hope game was with its 300% 3D prints of fucking Battlefleet Gothic miniatures. Well, I use the word.
Well, that was small. That was smaller.
Yeah, technically. I'd use the word miniatures loosely, as the bigger capital ships were like over a meter long. It's like crazy ass gaming. But what about the shopping, mate?
Right. Bear with me a second.
What?
Go to Video Ninja. Let me move my camera.
Yeah, 1/32 game, World War II. Yeah, that's right. That was now was that? I think that was basically Road to Berlin, wasn't it? Late war in Germany, Americans versus Germans, I think. Yeah, it was definitely very Billion Sunsy with like preposterously large miniatures and tiny little bases underneath them. But it captured people's attention, and I guess that was the idea.
Oh, that spam! We didn't see the cake stand.
No, that's true, actually.
We didn't see the cake stand at Partizan.
To be honest, they got their little cafeteria thing. I don't know if that's where the cake stand is. There is this cafeteria in the back corner. That's the only thing that's a little bit disappointing, I guess, for me. The food situation, I would recommend if you go, take a pack up. Because that tiny little cafeteria, the queues were bonkers for it. And there's such a lot going on at that show. I don't want to waste 30 minutes queuing for a plate of chips and beans. I'm sorry. I'd like sooner skip my food and eat later, because there's just too much to see to waste that time. So if you are going to a future one or planning on doing a future Partizan, my hot tip is like David did, pack yourself up some sarnies and eat on the hoof. Because there's so much to see and do, you're not going to have eating time to wedge in. I think that's a...
Do you want to come down to my desk?
I can. Let me go here. Let me stop this. Pause. Oh, for fuck's sake. Do you know what? It doesn't take a ton of resources, but it's so awkward to use fucking Windows slideshow. Oh my god, it's absolutely the worst streaming tool in the world. David's minicam. There you go, mate. I wasn't tempted to an ice cream panda. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I had sausage, chips, and beans from the cafe literally just before we left because it had quietened down by then. But as I say, when I wanted to eat in the middle of the day, it was like, no, that queue is bonkers. Sod that. So anyway.
So we bought some retro Americana from Sarissa. So we've got a billboard and we've got a residential trailer. So that is the start of my waste.
You should have gotten to guess what you were going to do with it.
And then while we were also at while we were also at Sarissa, we bought some North Star Figures Wasteland Warriors drivers and passengers for my Gaslands vehicles. So that was my Sarissa haul. I bought on a very nice deal. I've lost one of them, but AO. From Phoenix Game Studio, we've got some static grasses. So we've got some wild meadow, some woodland in 2, some woodland in 4, and I bought another one, but I don't know where it's gone. Just to bulk out my basing options. I got some Litco smoke markers for flames for damaged vehicles, which I think was quite cool, along with some 40mm rounds from Pendraken and some 20mm rounds for minefields. We have the free miniature that we got for attending Partizan. So this is Sir Walter de Isengi of Norton Disney. Quite a nice little chainmail sculpt. I went to Callistra, and I can't quite get all of this in shot, so we'll do it over here instead. Bought a set of 3 hills of these sort of vac-formed flexible plastic hills for a tenner, boys and girls. So we've now got some hills for my Flames War table. And we've got those in 3 different sizes. And they'll all stack together quite nicely. We'll move that over there. And then I went to Tangent Miniatures and I bought some more 3D prints from the EC3D Kickstarter Novus Landing or whatever it is. So we have a little, let me turn the light down a bit. so you might see that a bit better at home. Little insectoid alien. We have the Raticon, which is basically Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. We have a smuggler with his leg up on a chest of loot. And then we have a droid for my 5 parsecs and Space Station Zero Star. Yeah, the Green Hills were all right, and they weren't a bad price, to be fair. It's just that they weren't going to match my table for flames and all my other scenery. So that's why I didn't get them. And then the other bits I got, not in there.
While David's searching for his other bits, I don't know what else he's got left to show off, actually, because he didn't spend anywhere near as much as I did. Obviously, I'm still airbrushing, so I won't have stuff to put on camera. But I can tell you, obviously, I bought my Harvesters, Wargames Atlantic, for a very good price. And I got a box of the first Barbarian set from North Star. North Star figures for Frostgrave. So I'm going to paint them and use them as the barbarians from the Red King campaign, because there's this sort of like barbarian tribe that feature in a lot of the missions. So I'm going to paint them up for that.
So over at Fenris Games, they had some nice little ruined corner pieces that I bought to do for Frostgrave. There was 4 or 5 of them in a bag. And then they also had for £8 these little barrels. So I'm going to do these for Fallout Waste and Warfare on some forts.
Yeah, the Callistra terrain to buy the unfinished is bonkers value, frankly. Especially considering it isn't a huge amount of work to get it playable, not by any stretch. No. I was shocked how cheap it was.
Then the final purchase I got was I bought 2 of these. So it's a river pack from Magnetic Displays based over in Skegness, and apparently one river pack covers at least 4 foot. So it's got a ford, a fork, 3 curves, 2 half curves, and 3 straights in the pack. They are unfinished for that price. They're resin pours, and obviously we've got the river, and then we've got some bank texture in a variety of straights, etc.
So we're going to need to,
for example, the reason I bought 2 bags is because it will give me my coverage on my Flames of War table if I want to split the table along the 6-foot edge. Not that I probably will. The only thing I have got to do is 3D print some bridges for crossing this to go with my road set and other bits and pieces. But relatively quick, relatively simple to get a paint job on these. It will be paint the water up, paint the bank up, probably a little bit.
To be fair, do you know what? There's a hot hobby tip there, isn't there, mate? When we're talking modular terrain like roads and rivers, you will probably need more than you think you need. Okay? So don't be tempted to buy too little of it.
Just a 4 foot, because I only ever play on 4 foot.
Even if you only use half of the bits each time you build it, the more variety you've got in terms of your bends, corners, angles, the more different layouts you can make. What you'll find, and again, we found this with stuff that we've bought for the club or whatever, is if you don't buy enough, every time you use that piece of that modular terrain, the modularity becomes redundant because it only goes together in one way to cover the fucking distance you need it to cover to enter the table edge and exit the table edge, etc. So with that sort of thing, treat yourself to 2-packs or buy more than you think you will do initially. You'll thank yourself later.
I'm done with my camera.
Sorry,
sir.
mate. Right, okay.
I'm done with my camera.
Just finish painting this.
I mean, again, Darren, on the topic of trees, that is why for my flames table, and you've probably seen it before on stream, is the fact that I have the MDF bases to key in all these little individual trees. Because then what I can do is I can use them individually if I'm playing D&D or whatever. I can use them on the woodlands bases and take them out and still have the demarcation for the edge of the forest and be able to place miniatures. And then also it means that I don't have to fill every well because I've got a few extra wells, so I can place some objectives and bits and pieces.
Having said that, though, we saw something that's going to be a hobby transforming hot tip, I think, going forward, certainly for me. So now let's go back to the main view. Let me go back to, so turn that off, turn this on. I'm just going to, in fact, let's come out of this for a second and go to here. Now then, I am going to be brutally honest. When I was looking at my photographs after the fact, I do not have a clue which table this was supposed to be. I don't think there was actually any kind of game or anything going on.
It was just 3D printed stuff from the vibe I got, because they were like, oh, 3D printed, and there's people in it. Like, okay,
it was basically just like a minimal layout with just terrain on it. But I tell you what was super cool was, I think I've got some close-ups coming. No, maybe this is not maybe this is not the pictures I wanted. No, I think this is the table. There.
That is the table.
Right, pause. This stuff, this was new to me, and feel free to shout at me and say, Paul, you're an idiot. Everybody knows about this stuff. Well, I fucking didn't know about this stuff. So this is some sort of material, like gauzy stuff. I think it's called angel hair.
Angel's hair.
And basically what these guys were doing was using it for marking out zones. So things like swamps in this case, but they also used it, if I can go to the next one, forests. They were using it to mark out the underneath of a forest so that you can see where the terrain feature ends. Obviously, like David said previously, I've sort of used MDF bases with wells in for the individual trees so that you can take the trees off, but you still have the area of the forest marked out for your game. But one look at this and I was like, that's fucking genius. And I will be stealing that idea because it's so low profile. They had it cut into sort of like small pieces the size of your hand, and you can just overlay it to create irregular shapes, large areas, small areas. You know, when you think about it, if you can get it in, you can get it in a huge range of colours, browns, greens. I'm betting you can get white, so you can do like snow forest tables and
maneuver group was the game on that table.
Okay. So it was a game, was it? I couldn't really
Orinoco, is it made from waxing strips?
Not that I'm aware of. Although I can see where you'd get that with the old angel hair reference, but no. Just a shout out. If you've never seen that or come across that before, that is a brilliant product for marking out any kind of delineated area terrain.
And the beauty is it weighs next to nothing. And what's it called? It weighs next to nothing, and it packs really flat.
It's interface material used to stiffen suit torsos. Evening, Toros. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, as I say, it was a new one on me. I was fucking impressed, and I will be getting some, because that's the other problem. Like the MDF bases for delineating area terrain are all well and good, but they're so rigid, they're inflexible, they are what they are. When you've got them, that's it. They're done, sort of thing. Let's just have a quick look. Let's do another little slideshow for the people at home. As I said earlier, two fat lardies had basically their own fucking zone. They were taking the place over like some sort of like fucking, communist dictatorship. So we've got they had their own zone, the lardy zone, and they had they had at least two different games of sharp practice in different time periods and themes. I think one was like a Vietnam era game, and one was like a more 1800s classical sort of like sharps practice era game. They had the
Vietnam one.
Oh, that was they were using What a Cowboy for that, were they?
Yeah. But there was two.
Yeah, were they both that sort of time period, 1700s, 1800s, or were they later? The Lardy Zone was really impressive. They had some beautiful tables. Obviously, they had What a Cowboy, Chain of Command, Sharp Practice, which are probably their three biggest games. You guys can correct me if they're not. But they had them all represented, which is, great. As I say, we were super fucking impressed. Oh, now I know David shouted out what he bought. So as I was saying earlier, I got my Wargames Atlantic Harvesters. I got my Frostgrave Barbarians. I think I may have a blockage. Let's see how we go. The other little thing I purchased was I finally dropped all of my money onto Saga. So
that wasn't really a little thing you purchased.
So I bought the Saga core rules. I bought the Age of Vikings core book with all of the battle sheets, army sheets in there. I think is it 8 forces or more in the Age of Vikings? I can't remember. And I bought a 4-point warband for Anglo-Saxons and the Irish. So those are going to be my two little projects that I'm going to start with, so that I can be a gaming advocate for Saga and give people at the club a chance to get into the game if they want. Because, as I say, I've been talking about it. I literally played the game, I think, 3 years ago. And immediately after I played it, I was like, yeah, I want to get into this game. And now I finally have. So I finally got round to doing it.
So we've got in chat Darren telling you he's using 50 mils for his harvesters, 30 mils for his little ones. And Taurus saying he can never decide if Saga is good or bad. And Orinoco is currently attacking us both in chat. Saying,
that does constitute an grievous attack. Particularly when you half suspect the answer is we haven't touched it yet. Orinoco. That's rude. That's basically bullying. So stop it.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint me, boys and girls.
So, Taros.
Don't encourage them. Wait.
Why
wait
not?
for
what
it,
What are you
Paul.
on about?
I'm not going to mention it. I might be able to get away with it.
I'm interested in was it Taros saying Saga is good or bad? Go on, Taros. Go into. Let's have a multi-award-winning Moonstone. Tell us, Taros. Bad in what way? Bad as in it's not historical and is completely make-believe, or bad as in it's just not a very good game, or what? Because I know that that is a criticism that a lot of people level at Saga, which is that it's not historical. It's like you've got to leave your suspension of disbelief at the old at the. You don't like the battle boards.
Ewok got there.
Oh my god. It's like the inevitability of being crushed by a glacier. Yes, so here it comes again. Okay. Okay, I'll be honest, I quite liked the battle boards because what I liked about the way that Saga's designed is that the actual troops themselves are very vanilla and very similar. And what adds the variety to the way the armies work is the boards. But the only thing that, as somebody who's literally just played a demo game and not really got into it, I suspect there could easily be balance issues around it, where some are like, yeah, I think you're coming from where I'm coming from, Shakos, which is that is the game. But I'm. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough, Taros. The other thing is, I don't know, am I right in my assumption that there are balance issues around that, where you get some of the factions are crazy good and some of the factions are like, meh, not so good? Loop.
You can see why people like it. It's just not
that's
for
fair
him.
enough. Well, it looks like my hobby night has come to a fucking end because this is completely blocked, I think, which is really annoying.
Right.
Okay.
Batting each other with a bit of wood is reserved for the hotel film. No, don't stick to the table.
Don't block on me now, Airbrush. I have too much work to do. Don't be that guy.
When did you last treat her to a slap-up meal and strip her?
To what? Treat the Airbrush to a stripper?
Yeah, when did you last strip her?
To be fair, not for ages, but I haven't used it in a good long while. No, I'm going to have to admit defeat, right? We're going to have to empty the cup and clean this fucker out. That's really annoying. That's really so annoying. Right. Okay, so what time is it now?
Time you got to watch.
Right, okay.
4:10.
Right, guys, I don't think there is much else to say.
I suppose.
Let's go back to the main scene.
We can have a little bit of a whine and a talk about Games Expo.
Let's do that.
Minutes because we're not streaming next week.
So actually, before we do that, let's have a parting shot on Partizan. Parting shot at
Partizan.
Do you know what? I didn't get to treat myself to an ice cream from the van outside, but obviously I think it was Toros said the ice cream was awesome. When thinking about it in terms of negatives, when the worst thing you can say about that is the queues for the food are too long, I don't think that's bad. I mean, the £5.
No, not is.
Go on, mate.
I mean, again, I was pleasantly surprised by the queue going in. We by no means arrived late. We were there at what, about 4 minutes past 10? And the queue was already the length of the building and starting to wrap around the car park.
As I say, shopping, in terms of the shopping, I would say it's probably the best war games focused shopping I've seen at any event. What would you say?
Yeah, because there's slightly more choice there than there is at Hereward.
And it is extremely war games focused as well, which is the other thing that's fantastic about it. I mean, just stands like Pendraken had a huge retail stand, but the actual things that you could get there from, you know, the little frames that I.
Well, again, that's where I got these little
the accessories and that, the actual support stuff that you can buy for your wargaming hobby, absolutely the best I've seen. I think at any event. Free parking, easy accessibility.
Yeah.
As I say. The only I don't think it's even a downside that it is very war games focused. The only thing I would say is don't go to Partizan if you're a board gamer. If some variety of miniatures game is not your thing, or you know it's definitely not your thing, then no, it's not a show for you. It's not a broad church in the sense that you're going to see a lot of role-playing stuff. Not that it's not there. I mean, was it Northumbrian Tin Soldier? They were selling board games, and I saw people, I'm sure I saw somebody selling RPG books and that as well. So it's not that it's not there, but it's very much not the focus of what's there.
The other thing I will say is despite what we have said so far this evening of it isn't exclusively historicals, it is the vast majority. It is like over 75%, I would say.
You might be right. You might be right. 3/4 historicals.
Don't think that's being hyperbolic. I think that's a fair and accurate representation of what's there.
Now, that's
and what's
quite
gone
interesting.
Down.
Does York have a big wargaming show then, Shakos?
Yeah, there's the one that, what's it called? Go to. MS goes to, isn't it? We did a video on it the other year. It's at the York Racecourse.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, UK Games Expo then next week.
Yeah, this time next week we will be settling down to a bevy and analysing our show plan, won't we?
So, as David mentioned at the top of the show, or pretty much near the top of the show, there will be no live stream next week because we will be travelling down on Thursday in preparation for UK Games Expo kicking off on the Friday. So for those of you who are now, we'll say it now. If you are going to UK Games Expo and you want to have a meetup or grab a beer or something like that, then obviously a lot of you guys already know me on or already on with the on Tabletop Otters server, Discord server. I'll get my words out in a minute. So you can
English. It's
if
difficult.
you are interested in getting together and having a bevy, just DM me or friend me on the Discord, and we'll schedule something where we get together for a pint, or meet up with some of you guys if you're coming in at different times. And we can sort of like tell each other tales of Expo and maybe even take a wander down to where Gaming Gandalf and the rest of the crew are filming the show and just basically make a pain in the arse of ourselves, which would be fucking hysterical.
Are you going to write, what's his face? Who's the bald guy? Justin. You're going to write Justin another love note like you did the other year?
We'll see what opportunities arise for winding Justin up, bless him. Hopefully he'll go out to the Viking reenactors and we can do something there to fucking make him, to piss him off. That'll be funny. If you are watching this and you are not a member of the Tabletop community, what the fucking hell are you doing with your life? Go and join it now. It's only like, I don't know, fucking 40 quid a year. And it's just the access to the most amazing community of wargamers ever. Second, oh, that's a good shout, Orinoco. Bring your build Rome signs so we can picket the fucking the communications booth. That'd be great. Second, there is an email in the link in the description of the video. Now that's primarily for painting competition entries, but if you have no other way of contacting us, send us an email there, and what I'll do is I'll sort of like try and schedule a meeting up. Good evening, Rich D. Good to see you. Yeah, so that's another way you can get in touch, and we can see what we can schedule, or I can let you know. So let's talk about painting competition. So painting competition, the current painting competition, we are looking for submissions by well, we will hold it at the club on the 3rd of June, immediately after Games Expo, but then we will talk about it on the live stream on Thursday the 6th of June. So you guys have a little bit longer. You can go to the 6th to get your entries into us. The current scheme or current theme is champion. So anything that's based loosely around champion is great for the painting competition. I'm not decided yet what I'm going to be painting, although actually after our Frostgrave game the other day, I think I should just paint up that guy who managed to tank every single monster the table threw at him, don't you, David?
Yeah, definitely, mate.
I think he would definitely qualify after killing about 4 barbarians and a fucking
little flamey markers.
Your flamey markers.
Yeah, all super glued together.
Yeah, 2 weeks, Darren. Plenty of time. What? Ewok, your new single status? What? Well, to be fair, mate, get in touch with Pandy. He got a hot deal on a hotel room. Right, 5 minutes to go. Ah.
Are we gonna hold ourselves to any commitments
What do you mean?
while we're at Expo? Seeing as we fail miserably every year, we say, "Oh, we're not getting a new game," and then lo and behold, we get Flames of War last year, being a prime example.
I'll be honest. I've now bought Saga. We not long ago bought Wastelands Warfare, didn't we?
Yes, not that fucker's shipping. Modifius, you said mid-May the miniatures were going to arrive. I'm not sure if you know, but the middle of a 30-day month is not the 23rd. And you haven't even dispatched the copy yet.
Okay, so, but yeah, well, I know we haven't received it, but obviously it is incoming, isn't it? So, I mean...
Yes, it is.
I want to buy another board game. Go on.
I've been tasked with aiding and abetting, so I've got to buy things for Spam and Egg.
Okay, but you love that, don't you? That professional shopper shit.
Yeah,
you love that. I mean, I am gonna.
I need to decide on actually. Shout out to the people that play board games in chat. Any sci-fi game recommendations, throw them in the chat now. Throw them in the comments because I've got a week to look. Go.
Also, while you're doing that, take a note. Pandyman is in Hall 2, booth 443. So when you're going down there, when you're at UKGE, make sure you swing by Paul. And if you haven't done it yet, take a close look at Trench Offensive and maybe get a demo game in.
So Toros is recommending Laserburn. Battletech miniatures game, not miniatures game. Board
so
game,
yeah,
not miniatures
because
game.
Laserburn's I think a miniatures game, isn't it? So what you want from them? A sci-fi board game?
Yeah.
The thing is, you love those big sprawling 4X extravaganzas that take like fucking a week to play, though, don't you?
Fucking Spam sat there lurking in chat and then bringing back Brokeback Expo. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, Zona Alpha 5 Parsecs. You're all doing miniatures games, guys. You see, you're asking the wrong crowd, man. I don't think these guys are going to give you board games.
Look, it's worth a try. Spam,
doesn't know his audience.
Well, it is 2 weeks. It is just over a week away, Ewok. And apparently, if we have a few beers, you put your goggles on anyway. So,
well, this is the question, Orinoco.
I'm not sure. Just a
Star
sci-fi
Saga,
board game.
Hell. Awful green things. Do you know what? I hope that is a board game, Toros. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Space Hulk.
Pandy, I don't think there is such a thing as a board game. Now, guys, stop trolling me.
Oh yeah, right, because there's no danger of that. What with this crowd? You loon. Oh dear.
Look, I tried.
The thing is there's loads of you're going to need to be more specific because, like, you know, what sort of board game? How deep? How, you know? How fucking
Just be careful because we're going Breakback next week, so you don't want to be
Yeah,
saying
how
that.
deep do you want to go? How much do you want it to stretch you?
Jesus. You are not helping the situation, sir.
Oh dear. Fucking hell.
To be fair, I am contemplating
Blake
doing some
7.
5
That
anyway.
would be a good board game. If it's not already been done, and it probably was back in the day. Blake 7. Good shout. Oh my god. I might even go and watch some Blake 7. What was his name? It began with A. The bloke who was a total arsehole. Avon. Oh dear. Fucking hell. Roll for the Galaxy has some good rep. They say Ewoks actually made a sensible suggestion. Pandy's made a super sensible suggestion. The new Dune board game is supposed to be absolutely the
Dune
red
doesn't
fucking
excite
hotness.
me, though.
Everybody loves that game who's played it. So there you go, mate. Dune I believe it's called Dune Imperium is the correct title, but that's actually I mean, again, it depends how you feel about the Dune IP. Well, that's probably not the game for you then, you see, is it? And but Roll for the Galaxy is very thinky. Shut Up and Sit Down. Good channel.
Shut Up and Sit Down?
Yeah. You played it, Shakos. You see, Dune's good.
There's that Aussie game about toilets, Dunny or something.
Oh my god, that was... I tell you what, the Ewok, the dad jokes have been fucking rock bottom tonight. Well done. Absolutely well done.
Paul already owns Escape
I already own that.
Sector.
I got that. I won that in a competition on Tabletop, bizarrely enough. Which just goes to show you, I do win things. Apparently, yes.
Do you?
But only when they don't matter. Like the lottery, 14 million quid. No.
Oh, fucking hell, I'm not even reading Swan's last comment aloud. Quick, end it now. End it now. End it now.
Right, no, we can't end it. We can't end it so suddenly. We need to draw out the ending.
We've got to pull out.
Star Wars Monopoly. Fuck off, Toros. Tales from the Loop. Is that a board game? I know it's an RPG. Do they do a board game of that, or are you trolling as Ewok? Because that would actually be quite good, I would have thought, as a board game.
Sorry, boys and girls.
I tell you what is supposed to be a good game. That one that's about planet exploration. I can't remember the title of it. But it's really puzzly and it's cooperative. Oh fuck. I'll find out and I'll let you know. Anyway, Battlestar Galactica is no longer available, Shakos. They'd be buying that second hand on. There's several Aliens themed games. The Aliens board game by Prodos again is now dead. You've got another Beautiful Day in the Core, which is the Gale Force 9 one. You could actually, that's not a bad, because that
Nemesis,
that another
Nemesis. Terraforming Mars is one.
Mission Red Planet is another similar idea. You should look at that. Have you looked at that Glorious Day in the Core, or is Alien another franchise you're like meh? Meh. Okay. Meh. So, Star Trek. Do you like Star Trek? No, he doesn't.
This is where we run into the issue that.
So he wants a sci-fi game, but he doesn't like sci-fi. I'm beginning to see the problem.
But it wouldn't be me unless I was doing it on hard.
Buy Mr. Potato Head and pretend you're playing. Fucking El Toros, well done. Do you know what? We're going to end it on that. That's fucking brilliant. So thank you very much, guys. We hope you enjoyed the last couple of hours. I hope that those photographs of Partizan show wetted your whistle. Hit YouTube now, start looking at some of the other fantastic video coverage from the show, and don't forget there's another Partizan later this year around October time, I think. Details can be found online at the Partizan website. Yep. I think they've already got the date confirmed, so you can put it in your calendars and get down there. Thanks as usual to these fantastic people in the chat over here. They make the show all the fun that it is. We're just the fucking idiots who turn the computer on to start the ball rolling. If you can do...
And the 3D printer ruining
I'll be honest,
audio.
mate. Once you've sorted out your microphone selection, your audio is beautifully crisp, and I hope it was noticeably okay for everybody else at home. Thanks. If you can only do one thing before you go and off to your little beds, click the like button, people. It only takes a second. It's massive for the stream in terms of the YouTube algorithm. Obviously, if you can do any of the other stuff listed underneath it, share, comment, subscribe, that's fantastic as well. But a like is all that we ask for. And I think with all of that done, we are ready now to call it a night. And David's off to go and buy Mr. Potato Head and cut a big hole in it. See you later.